Dímelo, bro. Dominican York, what's going on, mi gente? What is going on? Tú sabes, loco. Aquí a little sloppy, loco. A little sloppy. I'm not gonna kid you. I just finished washing dishes, so if you see spots, which I already do, it's from dishwashing. That's right, man. I do dishes. That's right. These hands do work. All right, let me put some of my favorites on. One ring is my mom's initials. The other is my wife's old set from her wedding set. One of her old wedding sets, or original wedding sets, or whatever. I don't know. But scent of the day. That's why I'm coming on this, guys. You know, I get inspired. You know, I wait to film till I get inspired. And today, I shave my cheeks. I get peach fuzz. With Versace Eros aftershave and the EDP. 6 hours later, I am still emanating. Now I got some on clothing, back of the hoodie, front of the hoodie, underneath, arms after I showered, after getting body buttered down. I use all different kinds of body butters. Kind of bougie. I use bougie butters. But EDP performing like a monster. And I'm assuming that the aftershave helped. You know, I don't know what the concentration is on the aftershave. I imagine it's the EDT. But I decided to go along with the EDP. Just put it on strip. Rockin' Still in Love from Mr. C on YouTube. I'll put it on my, I'll post it. Great atomizer. Woo! Minty. Atomizes really well. Hit curtain. I'm not going to keep spraying because this thing is consistent, persistent, persuasive, evasive, elusive, creative, and destined. This is for greatness, man. This stuff is just a dumb reach. And prices on these are so good, my guys. Prices on these are so good. Whether it's the EDT all the way to the Parfum, whether you prefer the different versions, you know, because they all smell great. I haven't smelled Najee. It's the only one I haven't smelled and I don't have. But this is minty, fresh, sweet, signature scent, baby. This is the EDP. This is the middle of the road. It's got the best of both worlds, the Parfum and the EDT. So good. And guys, it doesn't go away. It's gonna work on majority of people's DNAs because you got to think of fragrance that way. It works with you or against you. That's why some smells you have an adverse reaction to that you just don't appreciate. And that's the right word. You can say you hate it. I just don't appreciate it. Coño, esta vaina delicioso. This is the EDP, guys. I don't know what year it came out. We're not going over notes. I'm just letting you know it's minty, fresh, sexy, versatile. Player. Yeah, this is old school meets new school. Loco, you don't have to drop a bag to smell like you did. Esta vaina es precioso. I'm telling you, Versace is... They did their thing with the Eros line, and that's why they're playing it, and they dropped, you know, others. The energy, the flame, they're all good. But I think the Eros, just the green bottle or the green blue bottle is one of the best. EDP is right there, man. Let's see what the dry down smells like on my arm. It gets softer and more vanillic, where I don't feel like, oh, but I just put lotion on. Forget about that. I just lathered up my arms with the Sol de Janeiro hand lotion. It's a lighter version. It's not in the tub. It's got a pump. And I've showed it on the channel before. You know what that is. But that stuff, it goes on pretty light, but does its Sol de Janeiro thing. So to touch up after washing dishes, I do like to use some kind of hand cream. And you know, I showed the Caudalie the other day. That stuff is amazing. And it has a really nice grape smell, or the rose one, which my wife doesn't like. Pero esta vaina, loco. Jala, empuja. This is the way to go. And yes, the aftershave is a splash. It screws off. Pour some out in your hand and splash your cheeks or wherever you're going to put, use some alcohol. So that's what it is, using the alcohol after a shave. But Versace Eros EDP, that's all I really wanted to get on. Man, my wife was up here today. She looked up here. She was like, yo, you got a lot of those. There's 11 PDMs. There are 11 PDMs that I haven't gone over with you guys. Really, we need to do a ranking. We need to do a ranking video. And that should be my first video that I officially edit. I've been thinking about that for the last couple days. I've got the tools and the software to edit. For 2026, that's where we're going. I'm going to start editing. I'm going to start bringing in something, using some kind of tech in a different way, using AI, ChatGPT, sea lo que sea. Boom, right? I want to brighten these things up. Put some end scenes, some intros, outro, do my own song. Son, I draw, real stick figures, abstract stuff. I've recorded, I've written tons of rhymes. Who hasn't, man? Who hasn't? But really, Versace Eros is the way to go. Listen to Dembo, Tu Dominicano Loco. Uncle Bo, telling you, Versace Eros is a go. EDP still pumping 6+ hours later. I didn't need to reapply. You saw I just sprayed in the air. I wanted to put on skin, but I was like, yo, I'm already like todavía pumping. Yeah, Eros is not going away anytime soon, my friends. Anyway, otra vez, feliz sábado. Que Dios me lo bendiga. Oh, I should have brought the new commodity frag that I had in here. Hold on a second. Mira, loco. That was like my second time only pausing on desktop. Commodity. And this is one of their cases, I guess, for their travel sprays. Esta vaina está metido aquí, so you got to push it out. But really nice. And this is silicone. You guys can get a good picture of it. It's called Iced. You're not going to get a good shot of that. Iced. And this is the expressive line. Let's see what this does. I didn't put it on strip before. But the only notes I could find, because this is not listed on the commodity website as of this morning. I haven't checked this afternoon. Only notes that I could find, one place on a Google search, is mint, ginger, and mango. Wow, what a note breakdown. Reminiscent of some other stuff, and I gotta say, fresh and invigorating. I loved smelling it this morning, and I actually wore it, and then quickly found out after hanging out or being around the wife that she didn't really enjoy the mintiness. Mojito flavor is not her style. Definitely up my alley. Ooh, this is fresh though. That ginger off the top, it goes away kind of later on. I felt like it died down. But an interesting scent, not for everybody. Again, not for my wife. But this is Commodities Iced in the Expressive line. And it should be something that should be dropping right now. I only found one blurb. It's not on the Sniff app. It's not on Fragrantica yet. As far as I know, I didn't search for Fragrantica, but when I did a Google search, it didn't pull up anybody but some strange place that said, click on this and shop it at Sephora. And, my wife is affiliated with them. So this is where we got that from. This is stuff that they give out to their personnel. And this is amazing. I woke up, found it by my bedside. What a surprise. And I wore it, because I wake up and I start doing coffee and making bagels and cutting up bananas. Yeah, this stuff is good. It's sad that she doesn't enjoy it. So now it's good to know, because it had, in the dry down, it had something that reminded me of Beach Hut Man. That's what it is. There's something in here. The mint quality kind of takes me to that mint that you can find in Beach Hut Man. But this is good, guys. The only one that I have from Commodity is something that she gifted me last Christmas, and that's Commodity Milk Bold Plus. That's the black bottle with the gold writing, and it's Milk Bold Plus. That stuff is really dense and rich and more gourmand than I had anticipated. You hardly see anybody talk about that one either. But this is delicious stuff. Commodity Iced 2025. That's really good. Thank you. Thank you, baby. I love you. But back to the start of the show. Just wanted to report. Easy 6 hours plus. Probably on my skin, I'm going to get a 10-hour skin scent. That's what it feels like. And I think that's where I've been at before, where, you could wake up the next morning and have really kind of like a vague hint of that vanilla lingering. Love it. Love it. Love it. And that might have been the EDT. I'm not 100% sure. But any one of them really work well. The EDP is kind of like the transition between the Parfum and the EDT. Not as light, as playful as the EDT, but not as strong and dense. Even though they all carry the same vibe, honestly. They all carry a very similar vibe. Hope I wasn't muffling my voice too much. But again, they all carry a very similar vibe. So you can't go wrong with either. I think the EDP is like a nice choice. It's the same dilemma with Bleu de Chanel. And I only really have one. I really need to get another Bleu de Chanel. I've had the EDT, and you see the bottle's halfway done. This is a bottle that I've had pre-collection. This is a bottle that I bought when I was still in the car business, selling vehicles, and this was like a special to myself, where I was normally buying the $20 frags. I actually went into a department store, and I kind of leaned to Chanel because my mom is and was or is a Chanel woman herself. She really a lot of times wore Chanel No. 5. Even though in the 80s, I remember Ombre Rose had a time, and there was other things, something linen, white linen had its time. If you remember those days, there was other frags, but Mademoiselle, yeah, there was times, man, in the 80s. That's what I really remember. And then I started with the Obsession days. I was in junior high when Obsession came out, so I'm an old folk, young soul. But Bleu de Chanel is one of my first frags, man. For me spending a little bit, you know what I mean? The other one, believe it or not, was back in 08, 09. And that was Gucci Pour Homme 2. I think that's what it's called. That purplish kind of juice, purplish blue kind of juice. I had that bottle. That was a delicious scent. Went through it. Ended up finding it again on eBay, and I was still back then I was wary about fakes, And I either bought it on eBay because I bought it on 33rd Street on, like, I don't know, right around, Macy's and all that. I used to work around there, selling vending machines for a company. Remember hearing the guys on the phone, man. One of the dudes from the Crocodile Dundee movie worked at the same place that I worked at that summer. The doorman from the first Crocodile Dundee guy, he actually left me a manuscript or a transcript or what do you call that? A movie script of a movie called Leatherface. I wonder if that ever got produced. I remember I stuffed it under this back when I lived in my mom's house. I stuffed it under, where I left it last was underneath my armoire, my big bureau. My mom always bought a bedroom set. That's how old school parents were. You had to have a bedroom set. So I remember all those different bedroom sets. And I do have one thing up there that I used to have in my bedroom above my door in my mom's house. So that's kind of very special to me. It's up there. You guys can't see it now because of the shoe boxes, but it's not covered by the shoe boxes. I didn't cover anything that I didn't want covered. And then I've got some trinkets up there that are special to me. But thank you guys for hanging out. I know I've talked your ears off. Hang out, listen to music. Good times. Eros, always a great purchase, guys. Surprised the short did so well. Yeah, people love Versace. I'm telling you. Anyway, que Dios te bendiga.